Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls in here, out there, around the world, I'm your host, Professor Broke, and today I'm going to be joined by Dr. Mr. Fuji.
Hey there.
We are going to be playing a little Fall Guys. If you will notice, we got a little dog going crazy in the background. He's a little senile, you'll have to forgive him, but I'm streaming from my mother's house today. Why? I'm glad you asked. My stepdad has gone out of town, and I absolutely love my mom, so I've come over to make a pot roast. But it is streaming day, so I'm here to make a video for you guys. So I will let my dog sing to you in the background. And hopefully, get something going here in Fall Guys. It's been a while since I've been able to play. I haven't actually been able to get Fall Guys to function for quite some time. Hi, Professor Daddy. How's your day going? Oh my god. Oh my god, I missed it. Here we go. Good news, Dr. Mr. Fuji. I qualified for round 1. And we got Professor Daddy in the chat.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Bears running around and getting them excited.
Well, that's good to hear. Kenny, how did you forget to eat dinner? Well, good. I guess you're happy you didn't eat all of that pizza now. Oh, really? Which movie were you watching? My parents' senile dog they're going nuts in the background.
Bear, come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Trying to see this one.
Howl's Moving Castle is very phenomenal. You know, I actually watched parts of it about 100 times and then finally got to see the entire thing during COVID. So I had a lot more time to enjoy my free time. Which is one of the things I did enjoy about COVID, was being home and seeing my family more. Invisible wall. Why are you sad, Cheese? Well, that's alright. I plan to have many more good streams, especially because I have good viewers like you staying around. Which, by the way, hey Kenny, if you don't mind popping over into Twitch, we have, let's see, 32 followers over there, so we are about 18 away from being monetized, and that will help us get our view count up. Cannot believe I qualified that round. That was extremely stressful, and I'm not normally very good at that one. So you'll have to forgive me if my comments are a little delayed. I'm trying to keep the mic muted as much as possible because the senile dog is slipping further into senility. That was extremely stressful, and to be honest, I did not read the directions before I went in there, so I'm kind of shocked I got as far as I did. And yes, Cheese, I will 100% invite you when I'm done. Which is obviously now. You got an Among Us plushie? Which color is it? Green with... It's pink with a green beanie. That is really cool. Where did you get it? That's alright, buddy. We can play another time. So here's a good laugh at my expense. I have been talking to myself this entire time. Did not realize I had muted the mic. But Dr. Mr. Fuji has gone into the living room to feed the dogs, and I think that should help the senile dog calm down. He is a min pin, and he's about, 6 or 7 pounds, so he's a little dude. Found out recently he is actually completely blind in one eye and 95% blind in the other. So I'm sure that's not helping his stress levels. He's probably about, let's say 14 or 15 years old. He's had a great life. He was, oops, got knocked down. His name is Zipper, but I call him Cindy. And I know that's a funny little name there, but I call him Cindy because I give all my animals silly nicknames. And my stepdad named him Zipper. I don't typically give my animals goofy names. I'll give them a proper name like Christopher or Edward or Walter, which are all real names that I've had for my pets. But with Zipper, that's actually my stepdad's min pin, and he, for a little bit, reminded me of Stimpy from the cartoon Ren and Stimpy. So we were calling him Cindy or Stimpy, and then one day my mom was extremely frustrated, and her best friend when she was in high school, her name was Cindy. So she was actually talking about Cindy at the time, and Zipper started, you know, just losing his mind, just bark, 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 and she raised her voice and said, "Hush, Cindy!" Or yeah, and so ever since then we've called him Cindy, which is phenomenal. To be honest, I'm really bad at this teamwork one. I feel like once you get any more than 2 up there, you start just like really screwing it up. Okay, there we go. Dang it. See how that works? Like, everybody's trying to help, but it's really just making it worse. Oh, my guy, get off. What are you doing? No. Get down. No, what are you doing, dude? Just... Yeah, there you go. Alright, we've only got 1 left. Okay. It's over here. Okay. There you go, there you go. Come on. Boom. See? Oh, bunch of chuckleheads we are. So here's some good vibes. I've got Starbucks today, and I also got it yesterday, so I'm on a streak, and I'm feeling good about that. I hate spending money frivolously, especially on like fast food kind of stuff. But when I get Starbucks, I tend to sip on it for the rest of the day. I put it in like a Yeti cup. So I get a venti, and I put it in like a Yeti cup, so it stays cold the rest of the day, and then I sip on it. So, you know, $6.69 for something that's not only an appetite suppressant, but it's kind of like a treat throughout the rest of the day. I guess that's up for debate. And plus, it's the only thing I really splurge on as far as frivolous spending goes. But you don't drink coffee, do you, Dr. Mr. Fuji?
I do not like coffee.
What about coffee turns you off?
I don't like the flavor.
Is it just too bitter?
No, I just don't like coffee flavor.
So, are there bitter foods you actually like?
There are a lot of bitter foods actually. Most of them are vegetables. But it's not that I just don't like the taste of coffee, and I don't like the taste of coffee with milk or cream or, you know, sugar and stuff like that. I just don't like coffee.
On a plane or on a train, on a boat or with a goat, you do not like coffee.
I
Which is...
don't really enjoy hot beverages a lot.
So you're not even a tea man, that is.
No.
Interesting.
I like sweet tea. like Southern sweet tea, like we drink here.
Yeah. I obviously do low carb, so I don't drink sugar, but Publix has the diet teas, which actually you introduced me to. And they're made with Splenda?
Yeah.
I actually don't like Splenda, but somehow that ended up being a thing for me.
That I really know simply because my stepfather is diabetic, and he is kind of limited on what he can enjoy. But also he eats a lot of sugar-free candy.
Now I'll tell you, sugar-free, sugar alcohol, anything like that, I believe the proper term is intestinal distress. But for those of us who are still children, I believe the term is the farts. I mean, those things mess me up. I just can't do it. So, sugar alcohol doesn't mess you up like that.
I mean, it can.
I actually have a little bit of sugary alcohol beverage for dinner tonight. Well, beverage. It's low carb ice cream, and I like to mix in a little bit of milk. And you know what? It's probably a combination of the two. And if you intend to hang out with me tonight, it's gonna get noisy and smelly, and I'm so sorry. But to be honest, like, it's a price to pay for, you know, being able to... Stadium Stars show. Let's try that. But it's the price to pay for having something that resembles a dessert.
I don't know, I got apple pie ice cream for tonight, so...
So you tried eating low carb for a little bit.
It worked for a while.
What was the hardest part about eating low carb to you?
The fact that I have very little time to myself. So I have very little time to prepare food. And it's extremely hard to get affordable low carb food on the go.
That's true. Like for me, for example, low carb snacks are going to include beef jerkies, nuts, yeah, that's beef jerky and nuts. But that's a really good reason why coffee is crucial to this diet.
There's also the fact that the majority of my meals throughout my life has been easy enough to bulk up whatever you're eating with pasta or rice.
So
Or
is that
beans.
due to your ethnicity?
No, it's just, it's more to do with my economic status with my family.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I didn't grow up in an extremely rich household, nor do I currently live in one. But I've been very lucky my entire life, and my parents have done the best they could. Despite everything, like no matter what we've gone through, my stepdad has been adamant about keeping some kind of meat, like especially steak was always his favorite. So even if it was a cheap cut of steak, he always wanted it.
Steak is hit or miss with me.
I have never liked steak. And I actually, if I do eat steak, I want it bloody, and I just want it to be gross looking. Like, I want people I'm sitting with to judge me a little bit, you know? I want PETA to send me a letter.
As of tonight, we're having a beef really all that different.
Hi, Evil's Blade. It's been a while. How are you? I don't think I made that one. Peta Griffin. Yeah, Peta. But steak is, I don't know. It's not something I'm super big on. How's your day, Comat? And yes, I'm glad you noticed the clown emblem. That's, an inside joke there. But as for me, I'm seafood. You know, I grew up coastal life and, you know, just grew up. Luckily, I'm not allergic to any kind of shellfish or anything like that. So anytime I get the opportunity, somebody's like, you want sea? And I'm like, yes, seafood, please. Oysters.
Some kind of,
I love oysters.
I hate shellfish for the most part. I'm okay with shrimp prepared certain ways, but for the most part, not a huge fan. It's more of a recent thing, really. I think I just hit that. You know, there's certain food, you just hit a certain point in your life where it's just like, I think I've had enough of this. Just fills up a meter inside that you can't see.
Not for me. Like growing up, we had this place in the richer part of our county that was, it's kind of like a tourist area. So every Friday, I want to say it was every Friday night, they would have all you can eat crab legs. And my grandmother made it habitual for us to go and have all you can eat crab legs. And I genuinely, not once ever, was like, no, I'm not really in the mood for crab legs tonight. Like, I remember making a joke to my dad one night, whom I referred to him as Badada. I made a joke with him one night. I was like 7 or 8. God, no, I must have been older than that. Because, so let's say I was like 9. I was like 9 and we were standing there waiting for crab legs and I was excited and I wanted to connect with him. And it was really hard to connect with my dad. So I leaned in and I was like, I'm really excited for these crab legs. And he was like, and I was like, man, I wish I was a crab because then I would just eat one of my legs and it would regenerate. And see, in my head, I thought, oh my god, I'm so clever. He's gonna know, not only do I know that crabs regenerate their legs, but that it's dark humor, which is what he was into. Thank you, Comat. I thought that was pretty clever too for a 9-year-old. And he didn't like that too much. He yelled at me in front of the nice seafood people. So I will let you know if you ever make cannibalistic jokes around me, I will make you feel comfortable about it. Yeah, my dad was a jerk. He had a lot of problems, but I think, like, losing my dad was one of the things that taught me how to grow up, you know, and I guess he taught me a lot in his passing, more than he taught me in life, which is something I'm very grateful for. But he knows how I felt about him. He was a jerk, but I dealt with him. So Thanksgiving is coming up. Would you like to have unlimited crab legs?
No.
See if they're still doing it. How much do you figure that would cost? Yeah, it had to cost a lot. And my granny was never rich, you know?
I think you have a different definition of what wealthy is around here.
What would you say the definition of rich is?
I don't think that anybody in your family was rich, but tended to have more generational wealth.
I would say on one side. On my paternal side, yes, there was some generational wealth, but as I was, you know, just talking Comat, my dad was not super healthy. when it came to that, and of course, oh, I thought it was about to drop me. I'm so jealous. I wish I could be playing Nexomon right now. Hey, Comat, have you ever played Nexomon? Oh my god. I just got wrecked. Okay, so Nexomon is like Pokemon, but how would you say it's different, Dr. Mr. Fuji?
I mean, it's fairly different. It's still, you know, catching monsters, turn-based battle type of thing. The moves are more like, you still can only have like 4 skills or whatever, but you unlock moves at specific levels like you would in Pokemon, but you don't have to overwrite your moves. You can just equip 4 skills at a time. You use a stamina bar, which is kind of like MP, rather than each individual move having a set number of uses. There's only 2 capture items. One that just has a base percentage to catch and one that always catches.
Right.
The types are far more limited. Like, there's only 7 types, I think. And each type has 2 that it's good against and 2 that it's weak against.
So we
Except
got
for 1 which is neutral.
we got some shots fired in the Twitter or Twitch comment section.
What's that?
Comat says he doesn't play Chinese knockoffs, and that's why he doesn't like Koromon or Temtem.
I have not played Temtem or Koromon. Nexomon, it's pretty similar. It was originally a mobile game that had microtransactions, but they collected the 2 games that they made into a console version that you don't have to pay anything. Like, obviously you have to buy the game, but you don't have to pay anything for them. For like the items that you would get in microtransactions are instead scattered around the map, so you're not paying for microtransactions. It's also 2 games in 1. I feel like the storyline is more interesting than Pokemon, because Pokemon is almost always like, oh, you're on your adventure to go get badges and beat the Elite Four, but you met an evil team, which it's starting to become, you just meet a team ever since like Sun and Moon. Like Sun and Moon, it was just like punk kids. You know, Sword and Shield, you just had like soccer hooligans basically, who never really did anything but be rude. And it looks like in Scarlet and Violet we're going to be having a team of just like thugs from the school.
Right.
But on this you have like the guy who runs the place, who runs everything, is and puts like people in charge of towns, is basically like a corrupt guy who's putting like his cronies in charge of towns, which are like the equivalent of gym leaders, and there's actually more to the story than just go get your badges. And there's no badges or anything, it's just...
And I have noticed a bit more of that dark humor I so appreciate.
Yeah, it does also have some of that self-referential, like...
This is a game!
Yeah.
Breaking that fourth wall kind of thing, yeah.
And I think there's a fine line you have to tread with that, but so far it's not too bad. Because it gets irritating after a while, but it's only come up like 2
or 3 times at this point that I've played.
A team of Power Rangers just showed up and I really enjoyed the dialogue.
Oh, you just got to that point?
Yeah.
That's so cute. I love that point.
The game is pretty solid. I will say the creatures vary from really interesting to just kind of okay. I haven't hated any of the Nexomon that I've run into.
But
I mean,
have you loved any of them?
I've liked several of them.
Do you love any Pokemon?
Yeah.
Which one?
I like all the kaiju type.
So is that pure nostalgia?
What do you mean?
Like, do you love Nidoking because it's a nostalgic Pokemon to you?
No, but I just enjoy its design.
Okay.
I've always liked its design, and I like it mechanically.
Well, I do know for a fact I have love for certain Pokemon simply because I have like a memory attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Cubone was one of the first Pokemon cards I fell in love with. And then when I was younger, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with my granny, and she was like my favorite person in the world. And every time I saw my granny, she would buy me some kind of art supply. And one of the art supplies that she would buy me were these black velvet poster boards that had, like, you know, color me kind of things that came with markers. So I just got wrecked. Oh my god. No, go. So the black velvet poster boards that you could color in with markers always reminded me of my grandmother. And when I got my very first Vulpix's background looks a whole lot like a velvet black poster board. So I attached, you know, the feelings for my grandmother to that a bit. And then of course when I saw Ninetales, I was like, that's the one.
I don't know. I've always liked Nidoking, simply because it's a cool design. With the, you know, it goes from just like this little, basically a mouse with a horn, to, you know, this hulking beast covered in armor.
Comat says Nidoking is Pog. My favorite Pokemon are Jolteon, Flygon, and Scizor. But here's what made me laugh. Comat says, I was expecting you to say, so now I wear my grandmother's skull everywhere I go. Actually funny, you should mention that. I would wear my grandmother's skull, but I just am too busy, wearing the skull of my dead older sibling. Because I was told that I am the reincarnation of that sibling, and that's why I'm so good at surrealism art. My name is Salvador Dali, and I am drugs. A little sip of coffee for that one. Yeah. Back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, I'm really good at going off on tangents. But you know, you've known me long enough. You know how I am.
Well, I think I will always like Pokemon. I'll always prefer Digimon, but to be fair, Pokemon has always had better video games. I think Pokemon perfected a formula, but I kind of wish they'd change it up more. Other than just adding like one gimmick to every generation. Especially because they keep abandoning gimmicks.
Comat, I was actually making a reference to the life of Salvador Dali, who was actually told that he was the reincarnation of his older dead sibling, whose name was Salvador Dali. He's actually my favorite artist, so I don't know how much art or how much you're really into that, but he never did drugs, and one of my favorite quotes from him is, I don't do drugs, I am drugs.
I went to the Dali Museum years ago.
Oh, the one in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I went there as well.
And as part of a school trip, we saw the Cuban Missile Crisis Museum and the Salvador Dali Museum on the same day.
I actually visited the Salvador Dali Museum during the period of time in which they were, there was a traveling Picasso event going on. So I got to see a collaboration of Picasso as well as Dali, and it was fascinating. So who's your favorite artist? And how about you, Comat? Who's your favorite artist?
I don't honestly think I have one specifically.
Then I think you should pick Dali.
Yeah, Dali's stuff is influential and it's important to the surrealism stuff, but it doesn't like strike me as something I would say is my favorite.
Comat, music does count as art, but for this particular...
Are you talking about like a painter?
Yes. A painter. Even, you know what, I'll even accept a digital artist.
I like a lot of the work that Ryan McConneville does, but he does mostly, like he does webcomics, but he does most of the video game stuff now.
Da Vinci. Not really an art guy. Well, that's alright with me. Oh my god, I got disoriented for a minute. I was like just trying to run into a wall. Like, I don't know why it's not working. Speaking of digital art, I did several art pieces today for my martial arts school. We're trying to get some new designs for t-shirts since we just recently changed our name. And Dr. Mr. Fuji was kind of looking over my shoulder every now and then, and he was going, "You're gonna get sued. You're gonna get sued. They're gonna copyright you." And I was like, we're a small town. They're not gonna find us. Then it'd be like, "Hey, I know what you did with that Starbucks logo." And I actually did consider doing a Cobra Kai logo, because, like I said, of all the martial arts schools in our county, we are the bad guys. Unfortunately, not by choice. You know, things happen, and I mean, to be fair, from my perspective, I would say we're more like, I don't know, like, who's that? In the All Valley tournament, there was a team that showed up in red, and they were kind of like they really respected the art and they were good, but they weren't main story. I kind of feel like I could see that being us. Like in the 1980s, the master of our school was like on the Olympics team, and he was like on the standby for Olympics team, and he was like training for that. So basically, if you wanted to be a good martial artist anywhere in like the surrounding areas, you came to our school. And I can remember doing that as a kid, just like constantly seeing guest stars in our school, and it was cool. It was really cool to have that honor. Oh my god, did it start me this far back? Jesus. But it was really cool because people would be like, "Oh, what school are you from?" And you like say your school name, and they're like, "Oh, I know that school, blah blah blah, my such and such trained there." Also, I'm getting ruined on this stage. This is the first time I've done this one. It's not good. Bad things are happening to me. I'm really glad this isn't a team match because I would be getting screamed at. Okay, don't worry. Oh my god! Okay, alright. You know what? At this point, I fell off. I didn't even try that time. Okay. This is one for the ages, folks. If anybody needs an autograph, let me know. I got too busy talking about karate and got excited. Yeah, Eagle Fang Karate, which by the way, just so you know, fun fact, all of the martial arts that you see in Cobra Kai are Tang Sudo, save Miyagi-Do, which is karate, more akin to Kenpo karate. But Tang Sudo is what I study, and it's so interesting to see the variations and how it's becoming popular again, because you know we do have people come into the school and they come and go. Like, you can tell if they come through and they start because, you know, Cobra Kai, they're typically not there very long. As for the flying tornado kick, let me think. How would you do a flying tornado kick? Because a tornado kick is like you step backwards. So like you're standing, like turn sideways. Imagine this, like imagine this with me. You turn sideways. You have like your right foot or your left foot out in front. You take your right foot behind you and put it in front of you. So you've now replaced your front foot with your right foot, and then you're kicking with your back foot. And you do that really fast. But to do that flying, I guess you'd have to maybe run really fast and then just do the tornado right before you jump into the air. Right? I mean, I'm sure somebody's figured it out. Like, 540 kicks are pretty similar to that. I think they actually have a different name for, like, way ball kicks or something for 540 now. I'll tell you that, pot roast is starting to smell great.
Mm-hmm.
So, Comat, do you do any martial arts, or have you ever considered it? Okay, so Taekwondo is basically the sister art to Tang Sudo. You guys just tend to focus more on, like, flexibility and getting that kick up toward the head. Was thinking of maybe getting into karate just to learn discipline. Absolutely. Dude, martial arts, like, I can't stress it enough. When I start talking about it, I don't shut up. I feel like I'm in a cult. And to be fair, I think martial arts is a cult. When you get it, you get it. And if you don't get it, it just makes you sound like a crazy person. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, karate's for kids. And I'm like, you wouldn't get it. It changed my life. You know, I started when I was, 13. I started when I was 13. And I was a troubled child. I was in and out of trouble all the time, and I'm pretty sure I stole a car at one point, but that's a different story for another stream. Anyway, one day I told my mom, like, I want to do boxing, and she was like, yeah, sure. And she got me a karate lesson, and she was like, here you go, kid. And I was like, no, karate's for kids, this is dumb. And day one I got in there, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. And here I am 2 years away from being a master. Oh my god, less than 2 years. September of 2024. Sifu, embark on your path of revenge. A young Kung Fu student is on the path of revenge, hunting for those who murdered his family with no allies and countless enemies. Must rely on his master of Kung Fu. A mysterious pendant to prevail. Interesting. But either way, Comat, if you join, give me updates and just make sure you get a good school. Because one bad school can turn you off of martial arts completely. I think a lot of people go into a karate school thinking that it's gonna, like, they romanticize it before they go. They're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna learn the secret ninja sauce, and, you know, I'm gonna be able to kill a man with my bare hands, and it's just not like that. So, what about you, Mr. Fuji? I know you and I have spoken previously about you considering Hema? So what exactly is Hema?
Historical European martial arts. It's mostly weapons training and like wrestling.
So I know 90-something% of fights end up on the ground is what I've heard, allegedly. But that's according to the jiu-jitsu classes that we have.
Yeah.
So if you believe that having Hema, like, not like anybody would take you on. How tall are you?
6'3".
You're 6'3". Okay. So you most people probably don't fight you.
No.
Okay. So
I've never had someone actually challenge me and then stay when I turned around.
I think I tried to fight you. I've tried to fight you.
No, you tried to spar me.
Well, would you like to fist fight?
No.
Because I win?
No, because your condition makes it so that I can't lock your joints out without doing permanent damage.
Because you know I win?
No, because I don't want to tear the
Oh,
cartilage in
yeah.
your joint.
Yeah, likely excuse. Oh, I'm a gentleman. I don't want to hurt you.
I didn't say anything about that until press charges.
What? I would never.
You're gonna be in court going like this with your elbow all busted completely.
You were like, that's not even the same elbow. Oh my god, go.
I'm gonna be like, can you point to the man who did this? And your arm's just gonna be doing this.
Be like, no. I can't.
I'm going to go turn down the thing.
Okay. Oh! No, why did I jump? I panicked. Oh! I was right there. I thought I could make it. Also, why did I scream like Courage the Cowardly Dog? Ooh! Muriel! Oh, it's so terrible when people just stand there. I'm gonna mute the mic for a second. cannot believe I made that one. That was extremely stressful. So as some of you know, my car broke down last week during the middle of the hurricane, and we were all very worried that it was the, which cable did we think it was, Dr. Mr. Fuji? The shifter cable. And for my particular car, it was going to be like $800 to fix, but there's a, there was a 99% chance it was going to be that issue, and a 1% chance that it was the issue I had, which ended up being a $25 part for just the bushing. And that just came in, so tomorrow I'm going to take it up to the mechanic and see if I can get my car back, because my car is my sanctuary. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna wrap it up there, and I held true to my word. Played a little Fall Guys today, as I said I have been wanting to do for a little bit. I will probably do a second stream at some point tonight in which we will be playing another spooky game. So my younger viewers should be aware that we will not be monitoring the rating on that one. As last night we played Among the Sleep. Very scary, very spooky. With that in mind, you guys can catch me playing more Fall Guys, Pokemon Unite, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3, and all of my usual hunts. Speaking of hunts, the rest of the year I've decreed as Halloween. Why? Because I missed it. Red Cross had me out there doing a bunch of hurricane stuff, so I'm going to celebrate Halloween the rest of the year because, I mean, I live in my world, right? Thanks for joining in. So, you guys can catch me on the socials. We got TikTok, Twitch, Discord, Instagram. What am I missing? I'm missing one. Reddit. I always forget Reddit. If you guys are interested in joining the drawing competitions, we're going to be starting those back up in Discord. Stay up to date with all the latest Professor Broke news in any of those areas, and also get more information on the upcoming party in which we will have many giveaways. So I will catch you all later this evening in another stream. And until then, have fun.